dalhin ng kapalaran. Iisang bayan lang sa puso mo'y laman, pinagmulan. Juan, saan ka man, dalhin ng kapalaran. Iisang bayan lang sa puso mo'y laman, pinagmulan at babalikan. Konting tiis na lang at hanggang sa araw na yan ay asal. Kami nandito lang, sabay na pakinggan ang mga kwento nyo. Isigaw natin sa mundo, bagong bayani namin kayo. Sipag at tapang nyo, hinialay sa mundo, sinasaludo namin kayo. Itaas ang noo, ipagmalaki mo ang galing nyo, isigaw sa mundo.
Magandang hapon UK, magandang gabi Pilipinas, at kung saan man po kayo naroroon, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Rose Eclarinal at ito po ang One You Connect para po sa isang makabuluhang talakayan ngayong araw na ito. Siyempre, kasama ko pa rin ang ating co-host, Jean Alcantara at Crystal Diaz.
Okay, magandang hapon po, magandang gabi at magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. Jean Alcantara from London. Natutuwa po ako na magkakasama po ulit tayo ngayon, kapiling ng mga piling bisita natin.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. It's Crystal Diaz here. Hope everyone is staying well, staying safe, observing social distancing, and welcome to Kumustahang COVID Lockdown dito po sa One New Connect.
Yes, Jean and Crystal, this afternoon, this evening, makabuluhang talakayan because tatalakayin po natin ngayon ang regularisasyon ng undocumented migrants sa France at sa UK. Ito po ang kampanya na itinutulak ng ating mga kababayan na tumutulong sa ating mga OFW or sa mga undocumented migrants po na kababayan natin sa France at sa United Kingdom. At ngayong hapon po makakasama natin ang ating mga special guest, mga panauhin po natin, and we're lucky to have them this afternoon. Busy ang mga kababayan natin sa pagtulong sa mga taga France at taga UK para sa kanilang mga problema, pero sinamahan po nila tayo ngayong hapon. Makakasama natin ang TFC correspondent na si Bong Agustinez. Magandang hapon sa iyo, Bong.
Hello.
Si Bong po.
Good afternoon.
Yes, Bong. Si Bong ay taga Paris po siya.
Yes.
At thank you. This is your second time in the program One You Connect. Thank you, Bong. And makakasama pa rin po natin ang isa nating kababayan sa France, Jean. Sino naman ito? For the first time, at napakaganda ng kanyang pwedeng maiambag sa discussion natin ngayong hapon at ngayong gabi.
Okay, so makakasama naman po natin ang isang batang-batang abogado na actually siya ang unang abogadong Pinoy sa France. Ang tawag po sa kanila ay master. Kumbaga sa Italy, advocat, no, o advocat sa France. Anyway, so pumunta po siya ng France noong 14 years old pa lang siya. Nag-aral ng French doon, nag-masters. Mamaya po mapapakinggan natin ang kanyang mga sasabihin tungkol sa kung paano mag-aasikaso ng immigration cases nila ang ating mga kababayan doon sa France.
And for the UK naman, makakasama po natin ang isang masasabi natin na community leader at kilala rin sa Filipino community sa UK. Crystal, go ahead.
Okay po. We're actually very lucky to have a veteran of the Filipino community. She's very relevant today in this pandemic We have Miss Susan Cueva, who is going to be joining us. She's the trustee at the Kanlungan Filipino Consortium and JCWI, which is Joint Council for the Welfare of Immigrants. And it, JCWI, it's very, again, relevant within the legal community. So we're going to be welcoming Ms. Susan Cueva.
Yes. Susan Cueva and our lawyer based in France, Emmanuel Pusung. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, this evening for this discussion. Chad, there you go. Hello, magandang hapon po sa inyo, Attorney Pusung and Ms. Susan Cueva. Bumati po tayo sa mga nakasubaybay sa atin ngayon.
Good afternoon. Bonjour. Thank you for having me here.
Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me, and hopefully it will be a good discussion this afternoon.
Okay. So, bago po ako umuwi sa Pilipinas, nasubaybayan ko itong ni-report ng TFC correspondent na si Bong Agustinez. Panoorin muna po natin ito and then bibigyan niya tayo ng insight into this rally in France kung saan dinaluhan ito ng tinatayang 10,000 rallyista para hingin po ang pagkaroon ng papel o para maging regular sila o regularisasyon ng undocumented migrants sa France. Chad?
Hindi na kami sumama sa manifestasyon ng Sampapie dito sa Paris dahil nga natatakot kami dahil sa coronavirus. Pero sana mapadali yung pagbibigay ng sa mga undocumented na katulad namin dito sa Paris.
Yung sa mga undocumented na katulad ko, ay nangahangad din po na mapabilis at mabigyan ng solusyon po kasi syempre kami po mga Pilipina na undocumented ay gusto pong umuwi ng Pilipinas.
We need the paper and to asking the government of France to give the paper of people to live here. Yeah? And we finish to coronavirus. Anybody don't have to document.
So, Bong, paliwanag mo po sa amin, ito ay coverage nyo para sa The Filipino Channel sa TFC News. Tell us what happened there at kailan po ito nangyari, itong malaking rally na ito ng mga undocumented migrants.
Rose, nag-rally sila noong June 20, isang malawakang rally yan para mga undocumented na mga dito sa Paris. Ngayon, nag-umpisa sila sa Place de la Nation. Mga kulang-kulang 10 kilometro ang layo hanggang sa Père Lachaise. Père Lachaise, cemetery yun eh. Doon nakalibing sila Edith Piaf, yung mga sikat na mga Fransay. Ngayon, yun nga lang, napasin ko lang, hindi rin sila mga hindi rin nasa yung social distancing at saka yung mga iba, hindi rin nakasuot ng mask. Kaya medyo yung mayroong mga Pilipino na gusto sana sumama, kaya lang natatakot sila sa coronavirus, sa COVID-19 nga, kasi nga, alam mo naman, medyo delikado. So, ayun, inihiling nila sa gobyerno na mabigyan sila ng papel para naman mabuhay sila rito ng maayos, ganun. At yun, tinutukan naman ng mga pulis hanggang sa matapos ang kanilang rally. wala naman nangyaring wala nang mayyaring gulo. At least matiwasay naman ang rally nila. Ayun, Rob.
Yes, Bong, may mga na-interview ka dyan na kababayan nating Pinoy. I understand, hindi sila sumama sa rally dahil natatakot nga sila na mahawa pa sila ng COVID-19, pero nakikiisa sila dito sa panawagan na ito, dito sa paghiling sa gobyerno na babigyan ng papel ang mga undocumented migrants. Is that correct?
Yes, Rose. Talagang yun ang inihiling nila. Kasi ito isang pamilya itong na-interview ko. Maglumpa. 2 years pa lang siya rito. Ayun. Tapos ngayon, siyempre hindi sila wala silang papel, hindi sila makalakad ng maayos dito. So, yun ang problema nila. Yung isa naman, isang Pilipina naman, gustong magkaroon din ng papel para makauwi naman sa Pilipinas.
Okay. So, that is the situation in France. So, ang sitwasyon ngayon sa France, kumusta naman ang kalagayan ng mga kababayan nating undocumented, lalo na sa panahon ng pandemya? Bong.
So, okay naman sila ngayon dito. Yung mga Pilipina na mga undocumented dito sa Paris, ngayon, yun nga, pagka no work, no pay sila kasi wala silang papel, hindi sila nakadeclare. So, yung mga declared na Pilipino naman, at least yun, nabibigyan sila ng ayuda ng gobyerno. Ngayon, may mga asosasyon dito, nagkaisa yung mga asosasyon dito, inaayudahan sila, binibigyan sila ng pagkain. Hanggang ngayon, mayroon pang isang association na nagbibigay sa ating mga kababayan dito.
Okay. Sige. So, do we get an overview also in the UK kung ano yung kalagayan ng mga undocumented migrants natin bago tayo bumalik sa France? Shall we do that through Susan?
Okay. During the pandemic, alam natin na nagkaroon ng matinding epekto ito sa ating mga undocumented. Dahil karamihan nila ay nagtatrabaho sa mga precario na tawag natin na walang sa trabaho. So, hindi sila naging parte ng tinatawag na furlough o suporta sa gobyerno. So, nawalan sila ng trabaho. Karamihan kasi sa mga undocumented natin ay nagtatrabaho sa mga bahay-bahay kung saan nakatira rin sila. So, during the pandemic, pinaalis din sila dun sa mga bahay na tinitirahan nila dahil wala na silang trabaho at hindi na sila pinagtatrabaho. So, marami rin naging homeless na mga kababayan nating undocumented during the pandemic. Ang problema, of course, dahil walang trabaho, wala silang pagkain at walang pambayad ng matitirahan. So, ang kanlungan ay tumulong na magkapag-set up ng tulong sa mga kababayan natin undocumented na nangangailangan ng tulong sa pagkain at sa matitirahan. At saka yung iba na may mga sakit ay tinulungan din nating makahanap ng doktor na maaaring tumulong sa kanilang mga health concerns. Dahil siyempre, sa karamihan ng ating mga undocumented na nagsabi sa kanlungan charity ng kanilang mga problema, medyo overwhelmed talaga tayo sa ating naging nakitang mga problema at pagtulong sa kanila. But nevertheless, dahil marami tayong mga kababayan na generous at mababait at tumulong din sa kanila, nagawa natin paraan na mahanapan sila ng matitirahan. Yung iba ay binigyan natin ng pagkain sa tulong ng mga kababayan natin. At hanggang ngayon ay ganoon pa rin. Yung iba ay cook pa rin ng ibang mga kababayan. At kasalukuyan at patuloy pa rin ang kanlungan na nagbibigay ng mga pagkain sa kanila at mga basic needs nila. Nasa proseso rin tayo ng pag-aayos ng ilang mga pag-aayos ng kanilang mga suliranin sa imigrasyon. Parte nung ginawa rin namin pagtulong sa kababayan natin, yung mga may trabaho sa frontline natin dahil napakaraming nurses at carers na nasa UK, ay tinulungan din natin sa mga necessary food nila dahil sa medyo hirap talaga sa trabaho sa frontline, yung mga health and nurses and care workers natin. In the meantime, nag-set up kami ng kampanya para sa mga undocumented na magkaroon ng regularisasyon para makakuha sila ng papel dahil sa tindi ng hostile environment dito sa UK laban sa kanila, nahihirapan silang makakuha ng anumang tulong mula sa gobyerno na dumating sa point na alam niyo na maraming namatay tayong mga kababayan dito sa UK dahil sa COVID. Karamihan mga nurses at carers, pero may mga ilan din ng mga kabayan tayo na undocumented na namatay dahil hindi sila nakakuha ng health support sa gobyerno. It costs a lot of money sa makakuha para mabigyan ka ng suporta sa NHS sa UK. Pero nevertheless, patuloy tayong tumutulong sa kanila at patuloy ang kampanya natin together with other undocumented people dito sa UK generally. At recently nga nilaunch namin yung Status Now for All na campaign natin para sa lahat ng undocumented workers dito sa UK.
Before we ask you, Susan, for follow-up questions, Chad, can we play that campaign? Yung ang kampanyang ito ay nasa website or nasa Facebook page din ng Kanlungan. But let's watch it.
Isabel, 68 years old, from Philippines. I am a midwife by profession, serving my beloved country for almost 26 years. And I became a widow at the age of 41. And I left 3 daughters. Then, I arrived here in the UK 2004. And my dream for my daughters urged me to go here in the UK and to look for a greener pasture. Since my salary cannot support, I applied one of the nursing home here in the UK. So sadly, after 3 years contract, my visa ran out. I applied and applied, and I applied 4 times and it was refused. Because it's so difficult. I struggle here as undocumented. It's not easy. You cannot pick out what you want. Mahirap talaga. Sa pagtrabaho lang, wala na. Hindi ka na mabigyan ng tamang salary because you cannot complain. The employers will just say, oh no, you're undocumented. You are forced to do this and that for how many hours. So now, I'm urging the government na mabigyan ng regularisasyon to all undocumented migrants.
So nabigyan tayo ng overview ng situation dito sa France sa pamamagitan ng ating correspondent na si Bong Agustinez at sa pamamagitan naman ni Susan Cueva ang kalagayan po ng mga undocumented migrants sa UK. So Jean, do you have questions for Attorney Emmanuel Pusung and to Susan?
Yeah, well, simula ko muna siguro kay Attorney Pusung, no? Kasi ang alam ko sa France, no, correct me if I'm wrong, pero pag ikaw ay undocumented sa France, malaya ka pa rin nakakapagtrabaho at hindi ka ginagalaw diyan ng mga pulis. Because I understand that being undocumented in France is not a crime. So, Attorney, paki-explain po. So, bakit kailangan pa ng mga kababayan natin na mag-regularization sila kung okay naman sila na nagtatrabaho, nabibigyan ng ayuda at kung ano-ano pa?
Una sa lahat, gusto kong sabihin na luckily we are living in a generous country, ang France. Napaka-bait ng bansang ito sa mga migrants. And unlike sa UK, base sa napanood ko kanina, yung mga undocumented migrants dito, they are not considered as, so to speak, na second or third-rate citizen. Basically, tama yung question ninyo and it is interesting. Walang gaanong pagkakaiba yung documented sa undocumented in terms of living, sa trabaho, at sa pamumuhay dito. pwede ring i-declare sa trabaho ng magandang sahod ang mga undocumented. Ngayon, in case of there is a control, which is in practice very rare, meron ding mga control dito pero napaka-rare yun. Once na makontrol ka, if you have a work and you have a declare na sa trabaho mo at maipakita mo ang halimbawa yung electricity bill mo kung saan ka nakatira, most of the time hindi ka gagalawin ng mga pulis. Kailangan lang talaga yung regularization dito, tulad nung nasabi ng ating kababayan kanina doon sa report, para yung kapag gusto nang makapagbakasyon sa Pilipinas, para makabalik ulit sila dito, kailangan nila magkaroon muna ng papel or titre de séjour. So, yun yung situation ng mga undocumented migrants dito. At as I said, we are lucky for them here. At yun lang yung konting na after ilang taon, pwede na silang mag-apply ng papel dito sa France.
So, may estimate po ba kayo ng kung gaano karami ang apektadong mga kababayan natin diyan sa France na undocumented? Kasi nung Bong, natatandaan mo na nung last interview natin, may nabanggit ka na I think 33,000 potentially ang
yes.
So, ano bang update natin sa figures diyan?
Ano yan moving yan kasi by that tama yung mga estimation na yon, around 33,000 to 40,000, but then again ongoing yung mga nag-a-apply ng papel sa government. So after 1 month, 3 months, may mga nagkakaroon ng mga papel kasi kapag nag-a-apply tayo dito ng papel, it is on case to case basis. Titignan na prefecture yung lahat ng mga i-provide na documents ng applicant, and sabihin natin most of the time kung may trabaho ka, may family dito, when we meet all those requirements, mapupunta na tayo from that status of undocumented to documented migrants. So mahirap maano yung estimate na yun.
Rose?
Susan, go ahead. Crystal first.
I was
Go
just
ahead.
going to ask, what would be the basis of their application under the French immigration rules to regularize themselves?
Okay, that's an interesting question. I will just give two big points sa mga regarding sa mga Pilipino. Number one is family. Okay, number two sa work. Sa family, if ma-establish mo sa French government na the balance na dito na yung buhay mo, you have your family here, you have children here who go to school, and you prove to the government with all your documents na you've been living here for quite some time, at least 5, 6, 7 years, and you have work, the big chance is the government will give you a paper. Ngayon, yung second naman, to the professional dimension, kahit na less than 5 years ka pa lang dito, if you found a job na full-time, na may good salary, above the minimum rate, and after ng konting seniority, at least 8 months to 2 years, pwede ka nang mag-apply ng papel. Yung tinatawag namin na salahye, doon sa professional dimension.
Wow, it's so different from UK. It seems like it's easier to regularize your stay in France.
Since 2015, I could say that it is easier dahil binaba yung batas na yon na before kailangan mayroon ka munang proof of stay of 10 years in France, but tinanggal yung condition na yon. The new condition is you have a stable job. Now, one of the requirements, so to speak, na trending as of now, yung you have to speak French. Gusto kong sabihin ito sa ating mga kababayan ever since. One of the basic condition is you have to speak French. But now, dati kasi it was a loose condition, but now talagang strictly ipinapatupad ng prefecture. And to answer Crystal, kahit na if you meet all those requirements, you have a perfect dossier. If you don't speak French, the tendency is the prefecture will refuse you because you fail this integration requirement.
So you have to take a written test. Is there like
Not
a
really.
level?
Not really. It is just a basic. When you go to the prefecture, that's the local. That's the government unit where you apply for paper. If you go there, the basic is you are able to communicate with them. If you cannot communicate, the tendency is they will give you a zero grade note, and then yung boss ng prefecture, the tendency is he or she will refuse you because you are unable to speak. So sinasabi ko lang ito sa ating mga manonood na ngayon talagang very strictly na ipinapatupad yung language requirement na at least the basic kaya nating makipag-communicate in French.
Actually,
That's very interesting.
Okay, so ano naman kay Susan, question. So yung mga sinasabi ni Attorney Lusong, Susan, para mga ordinary na sa atin na you have to have the language, you have to have life in the UK and so on and so forth. Yan kung mag-legalize, no? Pero ang question ko is yung campaign for status for everyone na or for all. Di ba si Prime Minister Boris Johnson, ilang beses na siya nangako na nagka-campaign siya dati, may ginawa pa siya mga articles na we should allow regularization of some 1 million undocumented in the UK. So sa palagay mo ba, maaasahan natin yan?
Well, isa yan sa mga dahilan kung bakit sumulat tayo, yung Status Now Network, kasama ang kanlungan kay Boris Johnson, para ipaalala sa kanya na ipinangako niya na magbibigay siya ng regularization sa mga undocumented. Actually, yung sulat natin ay binigay lamang kay Boris Johnson kundi sa TAUSEC din ng Northern Ireland. At ngayon, sa Northern Ireland ay mag-start na sila ng process ng regularization ng mga undocumented. At maraming kababayan nating Pilipino ang mag-benefit dun sa regularization ng sa Northern Ireland. Ngayon dito, alam natin na ang hostile environment ng ipinalaganap ng gobyerno ng Conservative Party dito sa UK ay napakahirap na i-break, no? So, hindi lamang sa usapin ng irregular papers, kundi sa pagpa-criminalize ng mga tao na nagtatrabaho bilang undocumented at criminalization din ng mga employer na nagbibigay ng trabaho sa mga undocumented. So, yung mga karamihan iyan, pagpipigil sa mga tao na mag-access ng health services, lalo na kung talagang in dire need sila ng ating services sa kanilang kalusugan, at saka ang pagpipigil sa kanila na umupa, yung right to rent sa mga bahay at kwarto na pwede nilang upahan, i-check pa rin ang immigration nila. So, napakahigpit ng hostile environment na nakapaligid sa mga undocumented dito sa UK, na hindi na halos ibinibigay yung karapatang human rights sa mga taong undocumented dito sa UK to health and to be able to sustain themselves economically bilang tao. Pero alam natin, marami sa kanila ay nagtatrabaho, halos lahat sa kanila ay nagtatrabaho dahil may need sa kanilang services na ini-offer nila sa mga employer. So at this point in time, it is more economically profitable and beneficial to the UK government na ibigay ang regularization ng mga undocumented na ito because they will be able to contribute even better to sa UK economy at of course sa family nila na sinusuportahan whether in the UK or in the Philippines. And then it will be better also in terms of public health. So sa pinang public health, lalo na sa pandemic ngayon, na ang lahat ng tao ay may safeguard at may right na matest kung sila ay positive sa COVID para hindi nila ihawa sa ibang mga taong nakapaligid sa kanila. Kung walang safeguarding sa usapin ng public health, sa usapin ng kalusugan, marami ang makahawa mula sa isa't isa kung may sector society natin hindi allowed sa ganitong health services.
Okay, so Rose, sandali lang, i-follow up ko lang. No? Kasi actually, ang ganda ng balita na sinabi mo na ang Northern Ireland ay may positive moves para dito sa regularization, no? Unlike Italy and France, and I understand even Spain, kung saan sila nagbigay na dati ng amnesty, no? In fact, in Italy, meron sila ngayon tinatawag na sanatoria na talagang excited yung mga kababayan natin na undocumented para mag-apply. Pero dito sa UK, actually hindi pa sila nagkaroon ng amnesty ganito. Alam ko nagbigay sila ng concession para sa mga domestic workers nung panahon ni Tony Blair. Pero sa palagay mo, pwede ba talagang mangyari dito yan? Susan?
If you remember, Jid, also about 5-10 years ago, nagkaroon din ng concession sa usapin ng mga migrant senior care workers natin noon, if you remember, dahil sa nagpalit din ng batas ang gobyerno tungkol sa requirement para sa settlement status ng mga care workers natin. At nagkaroon din ng concession, nagkampanya din tayo para maibigay ang ilang concession para ma-regularize ng ibang mga care workers natin. So we always live in hope that something will give. Isa yan. Pangalawa, we work together with a lot of organizations dito sa UK, kasama na nga yung JCWI, where we're looking at the different ways to regularize undocumented people in the UK. And we're going to propose several policy changes sa gobyerno para tingnan nila ano yung step-by-step, different areas ng possible regularization where it's acceptable, humane, and economically beneficial to the government. Katulad ngayon, alam natin maraming mga need ang gobyerno at ang NHS ang care sector ng mga health and frontline workers sa mga areas na ito dahil nakita natin kung ano katindi yung pressure sa services na ito during the COVID. So gusto nating tingnan at ma-influence yung government para ibigay yung possibility na ilan sa mga qualified undocumented people na healthcare workers before and in the country and even now are doing care work should be given regularization. So we're plotting different kind of routes to regularization and we hope that we can propose it to the government para matingnan nila how beneficial it is for the UK.
Okay. Rose? Crystal?
Yes, I just have a question. Kasi nakita mo naman Susan, nag-rally sa France at nabanggit na rin ni attorney sa mga report ni Bong, sinasabi na kung hindi gumawa ng criminal offense ang isang undocumented migrant sa France ay hindi siya pwedeng hulihin. Pero sa UK, iba naman ang batas. May mga kababayan tayo sa Israel na na-interview ko just recently at although before the pandemic ay madalas ang hulihan doon. Pero sinabi ng gobyerno that during the pandemic ay hindi sila manghuhuli o mag-aaresto at magpapauwi ng mga Filipino or mga undocumented migrants. Sa kaalaman po ninyo, during the pandemic, meron ba tayong mga kababayan na dumanas ng pag-aresto dahil may nagsumbong sa kanila o dahil naghihigpit ang gobyerno?
Alam ko na during the pandemic ay hindi itinalaga na pag-aresto sa mga undocumented as far as Filipinos is concerned, alam ko. Pero siyempre iba yung issue dun sa mga asylum seekers na hindi na-regularize, no? Naka-undocumented din. Pero ang isang point na na-achieve natin during the pandemic work is accept natin sa gobyerno na lahat ng mga undocumented na having symptoms ng COVID ay po pwedeng mag-access ng health services sa mga hospital at mag-treat kung sila ay may COVID ng libre at hindi sila gagalawin ng immigration authorities habang sila ay pinagamot at magpapagaling. So, isa yan sa mga na-achieve ng ating campaign. Hanggang ngayon ay pinapatupad pa rin. So, sa lahat ng mga kababayan na undocumented na may COVID, ay kailangan talaga sa hospital at sa GP nila para matiyak na sila ay gumaling at hindi sila gagalawin ng authorities sa usapin na yan.
Okay, thank you. Bong, before we forget, sige po, please tell us what you were trying to say.
Oo, kasi last week lang, tungkol dyan sa undocumented na, last week lang, mayroong tumawag sa akin Pilipino rito na nahuli siya, nakontrol siya sa Metro Pont de Neuilly. Ngayon, dinala sa prefecture, sa police, So, pumunta ako, tinulungan naman natin. So, ang maganda to, pagdating doon, tinanong sa ng pulis, gusto mo bang mag-stay dito sa France o gusto mo umuwi? Siyempre, ang pinili niya, mag-stay dito. So, binigyan siya ng dalawang papel. Yung isa, sorte. Yung ibig sabihin nun, yung uuwi ka na. Yung isa naman, para sa amo niya. Para sa amo niya na pirmahan kung talagang nagtatrabaho siya doon, tapos dali niya rin sa pulis. So, ayun, pinapirma niya doon sa amin niya, dinala niya sa pulis. Ngayon, siguro inaayos yung yung legalization niya dito. Kaya maganda yung talaga dito ng France.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Salamat, Bong.
Hindi sila
Actually, parang kung, kasi alam naman natin ng mga kababayan natin talagang nangingibang bansa para maghanap ng kanilang kabuhayan o kapalaran, ano? So parang mas maganda yatang i-recommend natin na kung pupunta sila, sa France sila pumunta kasi may pag-asa. Kasi kung sa UK, baka mag-end sila na criminal sila. Di ba?
It seems to me that in France, as long as there's an economic benefit for the migrant and the employer, they will look into that. As opposed to the one in UK, even though somebody would, tell the undocumented migrant that they will be sponsoring them, it's not enough for the UK to accept that. So that's the difference.
Sususugan ko lang yung sinabi ni Jean, and I agree, totally agree with him, no? How generous France is. Hindi ko sinasabi ito dahil nandito ako, but based on real facts. Yung mga undocumented dito, meron din silang social benefits from the government. Ito ang isa siguro sa mga pinagmamalaki namin, and even though I'm a lawyer, I have never understood this kind of generosity of France na ang mga undocumented migrants, kapag nagkaroon sila nung tinatawag na medical, libre lahat sila sa kanilang pagpapagaling sa France. Lahat ng kung magkasakupan sila, wala silang babayaran. Kami na documented or national, kung pupunta sa hospital or sa doktor, magbabayad pa kami. So yung iba sasabihin jokingly, mas gusto ko yung undocumented ako kasi libre ako sa hospital at sa mga gamot.
Interesting. Actually, may comment ang isa nating tagapanood na galing sa Italy, no? Si Alvin Umahon Rose. Sabi niya,
go ahead. Yes.
Sige. So sabi niya, sa Italy, ang dahilan ng amnesty now ay ang health security. Ayan. Pero ang isa unang dahilan nilang ginamit ay na dahilan at yung workforce para sa agricultural sector. Okay, so doon nagsimula sa agricultural sector, napasama ang domestic jobs kasi they need the security of their family. Lalo na kung mga employers' family ay kailangan ng assistance. So actually this is a continuation of our discussion before, no? Na excited ang community dahil nga biglang nagkaroon sila ng opportunity na mag-regularize dito sa sanatoria. At siguro dahil mas maganda ang, parang blessing in disguise na may pandemic, so mas receptive ang Italian government na mag-ayos sila ngayon. Ang sinasabi ni Alvin is kailangan lang talaga may records at may mga documents ang undocumented.
Okay. Bago tayo siguro tumuloy sa second segment natin, tatanungin ko muna si Susan, bakit importante na ngayong panahon i-push itong kampanya ng regularization ng undocumented migrants sa UK? Why is this an important time, especially for the Filipino community?
Dahil at the moment, dahil sa pandemic, makita natin yung extreme inequality ng sitwasyon ng mga tao, lalo na ng mga migrants dito sa UK. because of the fact na nakita natin na ang Black and ethnic minority groups dito ang matinding tinamaan ng pandemic. 65% of those people who died from the pandemic are Black and ethnic minority communities. At karamihan diyan ay yung mga mahihirap na mga migrants at people who came to the UK dahil nga sa vulnerability na sinabi natin kanina about insecure jobs, about not being able to rent at being in overcrowded accommodation and not having yung tinatawag na health check and services na kailangan ng any human being na nabubuhay in our lifetime. Yeah? So lahat ng iyon ay nakakontribute sa vulnerability ng effect ng pandemic sa mga undocumented people, lalong-lalo na sa kanila dahil wala nga silang safety net na any society should be giving to people living in those countries. So sa kawalan ng safety net, mas vulnerable tayo at sa kakulangan din ng ating economic ability para ma-improve natin ating condition, mas vulnerable tayo. At this point in time, talagang kailangan natin i-regularize ang mga undocumented dahil it is a way in which we can make sure na ang public health natin, if there's any wave of another pandemic wave, will limit the number of deaths and the number of infections. We have to allow that so that we are all safe. Sabi nga nila, nobody is safe unless everybody is safe.
Okay, thank you. On that note, I think we have to close our segment so that we can go to the second segment para naman po masagot ninyong direkta ang mga tanong ng mga nanunood nating kababayan para po sa France at sa UK concerns ninyo. Kay Ms. Susan Cueva, Attorney Pusung para sa France at ang ating TFC correspondent Bong Agustinez. So, magbabalik po tayo. Panoorin nyo lang ito dahil importante na mag-subscribe na kayo sa aming YouTube channel. Nakatutok pa rin po kayo sa One You Connect at ang talakayan po natin ay tungkol sa regularisasyon ng mga undocumented migrants sa France at sa UK. So ipagpapatuloy po natin ang ating talakayan. Babasahin po namin yung mga tanong natin para sa ating mga panauhin ngayon and we will give you an opportunity naman po na makapag-message o mag-email sa kanila, i-flash din po natin yan sa ating live comments. Pero gusto ko rin pong i-announce na mamaya po tatalakayin pa rin natin yung pong mga pagbabago naman sa regulasyon at yung mga bayarin na dapat yung tandaan kung kayo po ay uuwi ng Pilipinas. Ang 3 weeks na po nating tinatalakay ito at hindi pa rin po nauubos ang tanong. Mamaya po yan, isang kababayan natin na umuwi sa Pilipinas ang magbabahagi ng kanyang karanasan. So stay tuned. For now, yung mga tanong po ninyo kay Ms. Susan Cueva, Attorney Pusung at Bong Agustinez. So, sino ang ating unang lucky question feature?
Okay.
Do you have anything there? Yes.
Actually, many of them are comments rather than questions, no. So for example, kay galing kay Honey Agustinez, mahal na kabiyak ng ating correspondent. So may sinasabi siya dito na mag-aral sila. Teka, sandali ha.
As long as may declare sila, pwedeng actual class online. Ang advantage ng actual class ay kasama ang transportation charge. Nire-refund nila, but you need to complete the 5 consecutive Saturday or Sunday. Ito po yung nag-a-apply ng regularization, magkaroon ng papel. And then you mentioned, attorney, na importante yung language. At para maipasa ito yung mga pinupondohan pa rin ng gobyerno ang pag-aaral ng mga applicants. Is that correct?
Yes, kapag may trabaho ka na declare, nagbabayad ang employer ng mga social charges sa gobyerno. At kasama sa pinupondohan na ito yung pwedeng mag-aral ang mga employees. At ang kagandahan yung natututo ka na at pag natapos mo yung pag-aaral na ito ay bibigyan ka pa ng allowance na unless I'm not wrong, it's around 400 to 500 euro per session. Kaya everything is benefit para sa ating mga kababayan. Natuto na sila and nabibigyan pa sila ng allowance sa pag-aaral nila.
Bakit nga ba napaka-generous ng French government? I don't know, Susan, Bong, anong view nyo dyan? Kasi sa gobyerno ng UK, actually wala kang maasahan pag undocumented ka. Kasi sabi nga ni Susan kanina, bawal magtrabaho, bawal mag-tenancy, bawal magpa-doktor.
Yeah, it's hostile environment. That's what this government has adopted, unfortunately, isn't it? But can I just mention about kanlungan's work? You know that in June 2020, they've actually published a report called A Chance to Feel Safe, Precarious Filipino Migrants Amid the UK's Coronavirus Outbreak. It's about 14 pages long. And if you go on their website and Facebook, have a read. And it's very, very interesting. And one of them was Peachy Bell. She was included in that report. Is that correct, Susan?
Yeah, that's right.
What I would like to ask really is that what does kanlungan do for the community in general? If you just give us an idea and how people can contact you for help.
Okay, so Kanlungan is a grassroots organization. We have about 12 member organizations with the consortium. Before the pandemic, we do quite a lot of education and learning workshops with the different members of the community. So we do a lot of arts workshops, art therapy, mental health support, also supporting people with their employment issues and referring them if they have immigration issues to different immigration advisors in the UK. We do a lot of networking work with other migrant and refugee organizations in campaigning for the different kind of immigration policies that we want to change. So that's the kind of general work to do. During COVID, we set up the emergency response where we supply food to people who have no job and have no source of income. And we also organize a group of chefs who collaborated with them in order that we can supply food to the frontline workers in the NHS, in the care sectors, in hospices, and all that. We are also supporting people who are having problems with their employer, having been dismissed without any pay or without any reason when they're supposed to be on furlough. And so we're trying to sort out some of the issues in employment. We're also supporting our kababayan to be able to, who've lost their job, to be able to get through the universal credit and then other job seeker support. Because not many of our kababayan have been unemployed. Many of them have been employed, so they don't know the kind of social welfare benefit system that we have in the UK. So we have to show them how to do it and to support them. So we're also doing this campaign for regularization, as you know, continuingly over a period of time, but now more highlighted because of the effect of the pandemic or regular workers, together with 60, 70 organizations. We've formed the status now so that undocumented people in the UK will be regularized. And we have different kind of activities also as part of that. In fact, we launched the campaign last weekend. Well, it was about 300 people who attended our kind of launch rally, Zoom online, of course, because we're not allowed to be, out in the street yet. But we also did what you saw with Peachy Bell. We did our own Filipino undocumented launch of this report that you've just said, so that the Filipinos who participate in this report can also know each other, talk to each other, and then we discuss about other kind of things that we can support them. Mental health support, because many of us have been affected by the lockdown and the the insecurity of our life and the fear for our health and also for our family. And we're continuing doing that until now.
That is
Actually,
great.
how about the Philippine government, Susan and Bong, no? Dahil alam ko dito sa UK, ang OWA o Philippine Embassy ay meron silang parang shelter for I think mostly for undocumented migrants. At meron din silang assistance to nationals yung $200, no? So, nagagamit niyo ba yan sa pagtulong sa mga kababayan natin, Susan and Bong?
In the UK, those people who are coming to us, we also refer them to the embassy to see if they will qualify for that support. Because there's some level of qualifications and documentations they need to present so that they can qualify for that. So we do refer them to that.
Bong?
Dito sa Paris naman, ayon kay Ambassador Lazaro, kasi nga walang opisina dito yung OWA, nasa Madrid. So sabi niya Ambassador na mag-fill up ng form dapat padala dun sa Madrid sa OWA. So mga membro ng OWA rito, normally, actually talagang yung iba wala pang ID nga. Wala pang ID. Lalo na yung asawa ko, walang ID. Meron hindi pa nabibigyan ng ID. Kaya yun ang problema ng mga Pilipino naman dito sa Paris. Tungkol dyan sa OWA.
Assistance.
Mm-hmm.
Yung assistance.
Well, I think they need to satisfy some of the requirements. So, of course, when we refer them, hindi naman namin alam kung na-satisfy ba nila lahat ng requirements. But I mean, that's for the OWA to look after, to determine kung sino yung makakatanda.
Ang sinasabi kasi ni Bong is that yung mga kababayan natin sa France, lalo na yung mga nasa Paris, mahirap sila marahil mag-apply kasi ang naghahawak nung pagdi-distribute o yung pamamahagi para sa mga taga-France ay sakop po ng embassy ng Spain. So yun yung pagkakaiba. Mahirap nasa Espanya. So natalakay kasi namin yon in one of our live stream sessions also, na nandun nga ang magkakalap pa ng mga requirements and all ay nasa ibang bansa. So yun po yung gusto kong idagdag doon. May tanong po dito mula kay Marvin Batakan. Good afternoon po. Nais ko pong itanong kay attorney kung may chance po ba na magkaroon ng regularization kung nagkaroon ng problema sa justice. Pero sa ngayon, may trabaho naman po ako at declared po ako for 7 years na. Salamat po and God bless. So Marvin, siguro ang tinutukoy mo dito ay si Attorney Pusung ng France. Kung nagka-problema daw ba sa justice, maybe kung nahuli o nagkaroon siya ng kaso, may chance daw po ba na ma-regularize, attorney?
Yes, of course. Wala naman problema yon. Sabi nga, kung once nagkamali ka, may pagkakamali, nadapa, sabi may trabaho ka na ngayon and you are declared for 7 years, kung may record ka, nasa dossier yon, pero hindi lang naman yun ang pagbabasihan ng gobyerno para bigyan ka o i-refuse ng papel. Titignan yung stay mo dito, yung family mo, yung trabaho mo. And ibabalanse yan. So kapag yung lahat ng mga punto ay pabor sa iyo, ibibigyan ka din naman ng titulo sa jure o papel.
Okay. What about in the UK, Attorney Dias and Susan? Yan ba ay malaking puntos or points against an applicant kung nagkaroon ka ng criminal record, for example, or even just a violation na driving offense?
Miss Susan, you answer that. Because I have cases like that where where they have the criminal offense, but in a driving offense, it's not really a big deal, so to speak. Pero kung meron kayong like if you're driving without insurance, for example, or if you have caution because you've taken drugs or something, it's a little bit more serious. But I think Miss Susan also have experience in this, so I'll give the floor to her to explain.
Well, I mean, really, I think my only knowledge of it is that I know that if you've been convicted and has to serve 1 year of your sentence, then you'll probably not be able to get qualified for any kind of regularization. It's very unfortunate, but
Yeah.
I agree with Crystal.
In fact,
But we certainly take that into account because you have to disclose everything, even just if you have the warning or a caution, anything like that. You know, they actually ask that question, and it's up to the Home Office to decide whether they'll just let it go, or they take that into account, and that would have a serious effect on your application.
in fact, anyone who's undocumented, kahit na maayos mo yung paper mo ngayon, dito sa UK, no, you cannot become a British citizen until after 10 years na meron kang papel. So that is the harsh lesson na natutunan ng mga kababayan natin na nagbayad. So may papel na sila, naging indefinite na, then biglang nag-apply ng British citizenship, pero refused. So kinukuha yung bayad nila dahil ang gusto ng Home Office, 10 years after regularization or after you sort out your papers before you can apply for citizenship.
Because it's a question of good character, isn't it? It's one of the requirements, having a good character.
Same in France.
Yeah. Same in France, is it?
Yes, it's the same. It's
Okay.
a basic common yung moral character to become a French citizen.
Actually, from what everyone's saying, no, parang may kulang yata sa briefing sa atin, ano, sa mga kababayan natin. Okay, it's hard to do that if people are coming as visitors to a foreign country, but somehow we need to have a way of educating them. Actually, nabanggit din to ni Alvin, ano, Alvin Amahon, na yung edukasyon ng ating mga kababayan. Pagka ba pumunta kayo sa ibang bansa, nakahanda ba kayo sa anumang pwedeng mangyari? For example, marunong ba kayo ng language ng pupuntahan ninyo? Alam niyo ba yung gagawin pag biglang ganito naging sitwasyon nyo? Kasi yung iba naman, hindi naman intentional yung pagiging undocumented nila. Merong, lalo dito sa UK, marami dito mga dating estudyante na hindi na nakapag-renew, so they opted to stay na lang. Kaya siguro that's another point, Rose, that we had to focus on later. Ano pa yung pwede natin i-recommend sa mga kababayan natin? Para pagdating dito, hindi sila basta na lang parang lost.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was the problem. I agree with that, Jean. You know, there was a large influx of students, like in 2008, and thinking they can switch to a work permit or tier 2. But then what happened with the hostile environment attitude by the government, they closed down all the private colleges. So that meant that all the students were not able to transfer or move to another college. And then in the end, as a consequence, their visa ran out. So they then had to make a hard decision to stay beyond their visa. And that's one of the reasons why they become undocumented. So it is, it's very difficult. And that was a massive thing within the last 10 years, why we have so many undocumented now, undocumented migrants in the UK. And of course, the change of the domestic worker rule in 2012, in April 2012, where before, of course, I remember this very well. In 1998, there was the concession, and then the domestic workers were allowed to stay, able to apply for settlement, even bring over their family to settle in the UK. But then, since the rules changed, it's gone back again to how it started. Like, only up to 6 months they can stay. They are not allowed to apply for settlements. And now we're having to deal with a lot of cases where they became overstayers and applying to the home office to regularize their stay, and it's very difficult at this stage. So I think we really have to campaign for that. It's another issue I know about domestic workers, but today we're just tackling about the undocumented migrants in general. But at the moment, immigration in the UK is harsh.
I just wanted to
Question from
yes, sorry. I just wanted to add to what Crystal said. I think with many domestic workers, especially those who have been abused by their employers, they should really seek help from the different organizations like Kanlungan or Kalayaan and other organizations supporting domestic workers, because they need to understand that there might be a possibility, especially if they have been abused, that they can seek regularization up to a certain number of years in the UK, but they need to be supported to do that, to be able to go through the national referral mechanism processes.
Yeah, it is to be assessed as a victim of modern slavery, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, tanong po mula kay Macy Kalipa, saan po ba magbibigay pa ng pagkain, food para sa undocumented Filipino dito sa London? Para po ito sa kanlungan, kung meron pa daw po kayong mga project kung saan mamimigay ng mga pagkain, kasi I think we mentioned earlier that you had a partnership with some groups wherein namigay ng pagkain para sa mga kababayan natin, kasama na dito yung mga undocumented at saka yung mga frontliners.
Okay, I mean, I wanted to say to Macy, please email us at info@kanlungan.org.uk, and then sabihin lang po ninyo na kailangan ninyo ng support for food and basic necessities, and then sasagutin po kayo ng aming staff, and we'll get your contact details para mabigyan po kayo ng tulong.
Ayan po, naka-flash po sa ating screen ang email po ng kanlungan. So Macy, please email them at sasagutin po kayo. Isa pang comment kay Alvin Umahon, masipag si Alvin. Alvin, bibigyan ka namin ng ng bonus sa mga tanong mo. Bonus question.
I believe that Susan has something to promote as well. It's a different topic, very relevant today. In relation to pandemic. Is that correct, Ms. Susan?
Yes. Do you want me to talk about that now? I can talk about that now, yes. So, so Kanlungan is also doing a kind of work survey with our frontline health and social care workers, because one of the things that we found out during the whole pandemic is that there's a lot of discrimination actions committed against our workers, which a degree resulted to them being at risk in their workplaces and then affected by COVID. So we wanted to get their stories, to survey their experiences, and to be able to put that out in the open, because it's very difficult to talk about that in workplaces, so that then we hope that whatever kind of findings we get in that research and report, we will be able to talk to the government and to the health services and to the employers that this is the experiences that we have as ethnic minority frontline workers in the UK, hopefully that we can draw lessons from that, so that we can avoid infection and death in the community, because we don't want anymore the large number of deaths in our community. We know that in the health and social care workers, we had 25% of the total death in those workforce. And among nurses, we have 30% of the death in the nurses. And that is very hard for one single community like ourselves, which has a very, we only have 1.4% of workers in this work, in this frontline work. So it's very disproportionate. So we want to see the experiences and draw lessons from that, so that we can avoid the higher death rate in our community.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we will have a few more questions before we have to close this segment. I think this is for Attorney Pusong. Mahal from Mahal. Dahil po maraming undocumented Filipino dito sa France, kapag po ba sila ay umuwi ng Pilipinas at pumunta ng OWA, ay marirecognize po ba sila as OFW at mabibigyan ng tulong if in case kailangan nila ng tulong from our government?
Yes, regarding that question, kailangan mag-inquire ang mga undocumented dito sa embassy natin dito sa France, Philippine Embassy.
Okay. So, ano pa po ba, Attorney Pusong, ang pwede po ninyong ipayo sa mga kababayan po natin na nasa France at gusto pong magkaroon ng maayos na papel? Bago po siguro natin i-close itong segment na ito, maybe you can give us an advice or yung mga nakikinig po sa atin ngayon, maging si Bong na kasama natin sa discussion at parting words from our guest, Susan Cueva. Si Attorney muna, Bong, and then Susan.
Okay. Sa ating mga kababayan dito sa Paris, France, lalo na dun sa mga kadarating pa lamang, ang lagi kong ina-advise kapag sa mga lumalapit sa akin ay huwag magtapon ng mga documents, mag-ipon ng mga documents habang nandito sa France, yung mga from the government, electricity bill, bank statement, etc. Dahil kapag nag-apply ka na ng papel, you have to prove to the government yung proof of stay here in France. And at the same time, try to ask your employers na i-declare kayo kung hindi pa kayo i-declare. And I always encourage our kababayan na makipag-integrate dito sa France and yung kasi ang mga Pilipino dito yung language barrier lagi ang problema. Kaya now, very, very strict na ang prefecture. Sinasabi ko na ito ngayon pa lamang para at least matuto, mag-aral, ma-encourage na mag-aral ang ating mga kababayan. Sabi ko nga, ang pag-aaral ng French, when you have it, it will open many doors to you, a lot of employment sa iba't ibang klaseng dimension dito sa France. So that's it, ang maging advice ko sa ating mga kababayan.
Bong, your advice then bilang Philcom leader dyan at tagapagbalita ng the Filipino Channel.
Sa akin lang, kasi ma-advise ko lang sa mga Pilipino rito, kahit na wala tayong papel, magpa-declare tayo kasi pwede naman di-declare ng amo kahit na wala tayong papel. Kasi darating araw na tumanda ka rito, at least makakakuha ka ng pensyon sa gobyerno. Saka yun, tama sabi ni Atty. Pusong na mag-aral. Isa yan, pinaka-importante yan para ma-regularize ang iyong papel.
Yes. And Susan?
Okay, so ang gusto kong sabihin sa mga kababayan natin dito sa UK na undocumented, gusto sana namin kayo tulungan at tutulungan namin kayo kung tutulungan niyo ang sarili niyo. Una, you have to contact us to make sure na maintindihan din niyo kung ano yung right niyo bilang tao dito sa UK. Even though undocumented, you still have rights as human beings. And those are the kind of things that we want to learn, to teach, to educate our kababayan on their rights as people in the UK and working in the UK. The other thing is, gusto namin kayo to organize, to work together so you can help each other. And then we can also work together with other people who are undocumented in the UK. Because with us on your own, it's not easy. But with us and other people and other undocumented people from different nationalities in the UK, there will be more chance that the government will hear our demand and our campaign, and that there's more chance that we will win some kind of a regularization. But most important, we need to understand your individual situation so we can find out whether we can help you go through a process or different routes to regularization. And that can only happen if you contact us, if you trust our organization, and then we will be able to work with other organizations who can help regularize your situation. Thank you.
Salamat po. Maraming salamat po, Miss Susan Cueva, Attorney Emmanuel Pusung, at TFC Correspondent Bong Agustinez. Marami pa pong tanong na nandyan, pero hindi po natin mababasa lahat dahil meron pa po kaming pinangakong isang segment. So, if you have a chance, Attorney Susan and Bong, pakisagot po yung ibang mga tanong only if you have a little bit more time. We have to proceed to our next segment para naman po doon sa ibang tanong ng ating mga kababayan. Maraming salamat po sa inyo for joining us this afternoon and this evening.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Opo.
So, nakikinig at nakatutok, nanonood pa rin po kayo ng Konek. So, nandito na po tayo sa pangatlong segment. Malapit na pong matapos, pero hindi po tayo pwedeng mag-ending na hindi natin natatalaka yung mga tanong na hindi pa po natin nasasagot. Ito po yung pangatlong linggo na natin ng pagsasagot po sa mga tanong ng ating mga kababayan tungkol po sa mga bagong patakaran ng pagbiyahe sa Pilipinas. So sinimulan ito nung last week of June. Hanggang ngayon, marami pa rin pong clarification because every week meron talagang pagbabago. At ano ba yung pinaka-update natin at ano yung bago na pwede nating i-share, Jean, in terms of those foreigners na pwedeng dumating or pwedeng pumasok sa Pilipinas?
Yes, exactly. Kasi, well, actually, may mga ilang questions nga din dito sa Facebook Live natin tungkol sa pag-uwi at passport, no? Kasi magkaka-link lahat yan eh. So, siguro the best thing is if we bring in our guest na si Jay para at least introduce natin siya and then maganda yung usapan dahil directo rin yung experience niya mula UK, katulad ni Rose, at naranasan niya lahat ng sarap at hirap ng pagpasok sa Pilipinas.
Yes,
Rose.
Jay Tseng. Kararating lang po niya sa Pilipinas. Na-survive niya yung 3-day quarantine, yung swab sa NAIA. At ngayon, I'm sure nakasama na niya ang kanyang pamilya. Magandang gabi sa iyo, Jay. Can you please join us now? Hi, Jay.
Hi, Miss Rose.
Hi, Jay.
Miss Crystal. Hello po.
Hi, Jay. See you again.
Jay, hi, thank you for joining us. Alam mo, nakikipag-chat pa lang kami sa iyo nung may mga tinatanong ka tungkol sa pagbiyahe sa Pilipinas. Now, ikaw na ang mag-share sa amin ang experience mo. So, tell us, para sa iyo, yung paglanding mo sa Pilipinas, dual citizen ka ba? Pinakita mo yung iyong Philippine passport and British passport? Hindi naman nila hinahanap yung British passport eh. Yung Philippine passport talaga yung titingnan, syempre.
Kasi,
why would you present?
It's not allowed if hindi ka returning resident dito sa Philippines and if you're only a British citizen, kahit na naging Filipino ka pa before, hindi ka allowed or hindi ka papapasukin. Doon ka pa lang sa airport sa London, hindi na po kayo makakapag-board sa plane na sasakyan ninyo.
Unless
That's important to note. So they can't let you in the plane if they see you a foreign national. Okay.
They will check your papers first. So meron po akong nakasabayan na Filipina din. And then the first time that she traveled, because she is a British citizen, and then she cannot prove that she is a returning resident in the Philippines, hindi siya pinaboard. So nung nakasabay ko siya, it was her second flight na. So if you are returning there, if you're British and nakatira ka sa UK, you need to prove that you are a returning resident dito sa Pilipinas. But if you are a Filipino, you are a balikbayan, you are an OFW, allowed po kayo mag-travel to go home Philippines this July.
In fact, kalalabas lang din na balita, pakita nga natin yung news na ito, Chad, if you have a clip or screenshot, na simula sa August 1, yung pong mga foreign nationals na mayroong resident permit sa Pilipinas ay maaari na ring bumiyahe o maaari na rin kayo makapasok ng Pilipinas. Maliban po yan doon sa na-mention natin last week na meron nga pong mga exemption. Kung kayo ay dependent ng Filipino, pwede kasi foreigner kayo, so pwede kayong magpakita ng evidence na kayo ay dependent, asawa, anak, at ang nabanggit ni Crystal last time, wala namang age limit. So kahit matanda na kayo, hindi lang yung kahit more than 18 years old. Tapos yung mga crew, airline crew, at saka yung pong mga nagtatrabaho sa mga humanitarian organizations na nasa Pilipinas, at ang dinagdag nga po dyan, yung mga mayroong resident permit or yung may mga visa, work visa, tama ba Jean? Work visa ba kasama dyan?
Hindi kasama
check.
work Miss Rose. Yung allowed lang I think is yung returning resident, yung mga foreigners na nandito na nakatira sa Pilipinas.
Okay.
Yes.
Nakatira na sa Pilipinas. So, that's starting August 1. Pero Jay, ang gusto kong August 1. Ang gusto kong i-clarify sa iyo kasi na-mention mo sa akin na katulad din ng karanasan ko, hindi ako nagbayad ng swab test because I landed in NAIA. Ikaw nagbayad ka ba ng swab test for COVID?
It's free po. Tapos doon po sa it only takes 72 hours para sa result na darating. It's very good kasi after 3 days talaga natanggap ko yung confirmation that I am negative. So, kung doon po kung nagtatanong na baka po pwede magbayad na within 24 hours, wala pong ganon. Everyone, dadaan po siya doon sa na-provide na ng government with Philippine Red Cross.
So, Jay, yung quarantine facility mo, syempre ikaw nagbayad noon dahil ikaw ay returning Filipino, no? So, 3 araw din na hindi ka lumabas or ilang araw yon?
3 days.
Na hindi ka 3 days, yes. Na hindi ka lumabas ng kwarto mo. So paano yung pagkain mo?
Nasa hotel po. So it's being delivered. Meron po silang room service dito sa quarantine facility dito sa hotel. So pag nag-book po tayo ng hotel, meron din pong na-provide yung Philippine government na listahan ng mga quarantine facilities kung saan doon lang po kayo pwede mag-book ng accommodation ninyo. Tapos, mag-request na lang kayo sa hotel na pick upin din kayo doon sa airport. Kasi hindi kayo i-release sa airport kung wala pong confirmation na pipick upin kayo at didiretso kayo doon sa hotel. Kasi I think marami dati na hindi dumiretso sa hotel nila, dumiretso sila sa bahay nila eh.
Okay.
So did you have to book from the UK? So you sorted everything, booking of the hotel from the UK before you flew off to Philippines?
Na-realize ko kasi nung nasa airport while waiting, kasi may wifi naman siya, while waiting kasi maraming passengers na nakasabay ko sa nakasabayan na nag-landing.
Hello Fashion World.
So para na hindi na ako mahirapan mag-queue kasi may queue para mag-book ka ng hotel mo kung wala ka pang accommodation. I did it with booking.com and then meron po akong kamag-anak or staff sa Philippines na pinatawag ko sa hotel to book it for me.
I see.
Yeah. So actually pag nasa hotel ka ba, Jay, so pwede kang umikot naman doon sa hotel. Pwede kang pumunta sa coffee shop.
Hindi po allowed.
Pwede.
So nasa loob ka lang ng kwarto?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh, that's
yes. So ito yung
wow.
Yeah.
May note
so yung
sa sa account mo na you are on quarantine. At saka napansin ko lang dito sa sa Manila, it's very different compare mo siya sa London kasi dito sa Manila talaga they're very once they know na na hindi ka positive or anything, they really parang dili sila sa lumapit or something. Kahit yung mga friends ko nga kahit alam na nilang negative ako, they won't even meet me, some of them.
Oh no. Wow,
So yung
that's very strict.
yung pag-quarantine talaga is a serious business. I mean, akala siguro ng iba, porket nasa hotel ka at hindi ka kasama ng mga returning na OFWs natin, pwede kang paikot-ikot sa hotel, pwede kang mag-dine out, or doon ka sa lobby ng hotel, hindi po pwede. Hanggat hindi mo hawak yung COVID test mo, doon ka lang sa loob ng kwarto mo at lahat po ng pagkain ay kailangan i-deliver sa inyo, sa door.
Yeah.
Naka-PPE yung mga nagdi-deliver.
Yes, kahit yung room service ngayon sa hotel, they won't clean your room nowadays unless magpa-clean ka ng room mo. But during the 3 days, hindi ka talaga pupuntahan kasi nga baka positive ka. Kasi pag positive ka, yung pag positive ka, kukontakin ng hotel yung sa Philippine government. I just don't know which one. Basta sabi, ididiretso ka na lang dun sa facility nila para dun sa mga positive sa COVID.
Paano I don't know if you know this, Jay, no, o Rose, ang balita ko kasi yung ibang ang nabanggit mo kanina, yung ibang flights sa halip na diretso sa NAIA ay idinadaan sa Clark. So paanong arrangement noon? How do you travel wherever? I guess yung hotel mo is in Clark also. So paanong arrangement doon?
So, Jean, meron tayong isang kababayan. In fact, ito yung case niya. Kaibigan rin natin ito, si Migs Lumibaw. Ay taga-London po siya at nag-travel siya dyan dito sa Pilipinas, umuwi ng Pilipinas. Pero yung flight po nila ay nag-land sa Clark. So, iba naman ang patakaran dito kasi yung pinost niya sa social media, sa Facebook niya, sinabi niya doon dahil hindi siya OFW, siya ay bumibisita sa kanyang kamag-anak dito, na ipakita niya na ang kanyang certificate of dual citizenship. But hold it, yung PAL po, hindi daw diretso na makapag-landing sa Manila. So, doon sila sa Clark kasi international airport naman ang Clark. Pero, may bayad. Kasi lahat po ng nagla-landing sa NAIA ay free sa COVID test. Hindi magbabayad. OFW ka man o ikaw ay overseas Filipino, balikbayan.
Even foreigners.
Oo. And foreigners. Wala pong bayad yon. Sa Clark po, ang patakaran, at kumpirmado po ito, dahil kinumpirma ko ito sa ating DOT head sa London, may bayad talaga. Ang free lang po sa Clark kung doon kayo magla-landing, o ang eroplano nyo doon magla-landing, OFW lang. Ibig sabihin, yung mga kababayan natin na may kontrata sa ibang bansa at nagbabakasyon sa Pilipinas, the rest would have to pay. At magkano ang bayad? It's 3,000. Nakalagay doon sa post ni Migs Lumibaw. 3,800. Ayan, nandyan siya. Pakibig.
That's him. That's it.
That's him. This is Migs. Ito po ang pinost niya. So that's like 3,875 pesos, around 50 pounds. Yun po yung binayad niya. So kung pamilya kayo ng 4, that's like 200 pounds ang babayaran nyo sa COVID test. At yung babayaran nyo pa rin yung quarantine facility ninyo or hotel ninyo dahil hindi po kayo OFW. Yan din po ang kaso ng mga kababayan natin na magla-land sa Cebu. Dahil international airport din po yung Cebu. Kaya, Crystal, if you remember our friend who traveled to Visayas, nagbayad din siya ng COVID test.
Who's that one? Is that Lilibeth?
Oh, wait. Why did you mention her name? Maybe yes, Lilibeth, our friend. Lilibeth.
She's okay with it.
Okay. So she also paid and she was asking me, why did I have to pay? So ngayon lang natin nabigyan ng clarification na yung airport pala ng Cebu at saka dito sa Clark may bayad talaga except for OFW. Swerte lang yung magla-land sa NAIA.
So paano teka muna, paano yung kung halimbawa may connecting flight ka sa domestic airport, paano ka makakarating? No, parang nakita ko may sinabi si Migs na may shuttle, but how does it work?
When you yes.
Jay,
when you arrive sa Manila, they will still, if you're from a foreign country, tapos pag-arrive mo sa Manila, ititest ka pa rin nila for your swab test. Pag nag-negative ka na, dun after 3 days na makuha mo na negative ka na, tsaka ka natutulungan ng Philippine Coast Guard papunta dun sa next destination mo. Dun ka nila ihatid. Kasi maglalagay ka ng final destination mo eh. Dun sa form. May form silang ibibigay sa inyo.
Okay.
Kasi
At saka,
local flight is allowed right now. Even if you book right now, walang local flights available online.
Oh,
Yeah. Even from here, I think a lot of people having problems booking. They will book their flights, and then a week before their flight, they're being canceled. So it's a lot of Filipinos are having problem getting flights. But PAL is, you can book flights with PAL, right? And then Rose, you actually use Gulf Air.
I did use Gulf
yes.
Air.
Yeah. Oh, you did. You did.
So, yung experience naman ni Meg na shinare niya sa atin, so he's quarantining at the moment, nasa Clark siya. So, yung accredited quarantine facility doon, in his case, accredited hotel na nasa Clark, for 3 days siya naghihintay siya actually ng kanyang swab test result. And then after that, if he's COVID-free, may shuttle naman na magdadala sa kanila sa Manila. So, doon naman siya pwedeng sumakay, or kung pwede rin siya mag-arrange ng kanyang transport papunta na ng Manila. Yan po ay kung siya ay COVID-free. Kung hindi po, katulad sa kaso ni Jay, mayroon na mismo na pupunta sa inyong hotel o sa quarantine facility nyo na DOH van para pumick up sa inyo. Hindi na po kayo pwedeng...
Miss Rose, negative
yes,
po.
yes. I'm just saying.
Just to be clear, he's negative.
Just to be clear, yes. So he's negative. That's why he's joining us. So ibig sabihin nun, Jean and Crystal, kung positive yung person, hindi ka na po hindi ka na pwede palalabasin ng hotel.
So that's the end of your destination. You can't go any further until you get the treatment.
That's it.
I suppose. So,
yes.
Okay.
Oo. So doon naman sa kaso ni Jay, yung kasing end destination mo, kailangan malaman pa rin. So you have to declare it kung saan. Kasi doon sa letter na binigay ng Philippine Red Cross, nakalagay doon kung saan dapat yung end destination mo, kung doon ka pupunta. And that will serve as your proof para tanggapin ka doon sa lugar ninyo na meron kang certificate na maipapakita. But you also have to coordinate with your local, your LGU, kasi iba-iba din ho yung patakaran ng quarantine. So from Manila, if you're, for example, going to another place, for example, Bicol, no? Magka-quarantine, depende sa patakaran ng LGU doon, because they will still quarantine you for 14 days, kahit mayroon ka ng certificate. Yes. Dahil yun na po ang patakaran nila.
So, ibig sabihin, Jay, now that you're negative, so now nakauwi ka na kung saan man, so can you go out of your place to, I don't know, visit relatives or go somewhere?
I'm on self-quarantine right now, pero nandito pa rin ako on the same hotel.
Oh, okay.
Hindi na ako nag-check out, but I consider it the same way na self-quarantine sa London, wherein I only go out if I have to buy my food or what you call this, jogging, pero wala namang jogging. But I only go out for grocery, for food. As long as you wear face mask. Kasi stricto dito eh. Pag lumabas ka talaga, sa labas, dapat naka-face mask ka.
Yeah.
They will arrest you if you don't have a face mask.
Well, in the UK now, there's a new announcement by the Home Office. As of the 24th of July, you have to wear a face cover, face mask when you go into shops. A bit late, but you know it's now mandatory to wear face masks in the UK when you go to shops.
Actually,
I think mayroong
si Christian Estrada.
Okay, go ahead. And then we'll entertain the question or the comment of Alvin after, but because I think it's very relevant.
Okay, so hello Rose, Attorney Diaz and Kuya Jean. Question, what if whilst on quarantine and become symptomatic and require treatment, saan ang treatment at anong insurance ang pwedeng magamit?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
In terms of quarantine, basta positive po kayo, even if you are symptomatic, they will still send you doon sa facility nila, quarantine facility ng government.
So, but do you have to pay for it? I mean, I don't know if you know the answer to this. Is that once you get the treatment, do you have to pay for it?
Pag private hospital lang, alam ko may bayad eh. But I think yung sa Philippine Center, yun yung free. Don't quote me for this, but that's what I understand based on the news.
Yeah. Because you know, when we travel abroad, right, we book our travel insurance, and if in case anything happens to us, or medical insurance. I think that's what really Christian is asking, is that can we use our medical or travel insurance to pay for the treatment?
On my case sa insurance ko, nakalagay kasi doon sa one of the buy statement that if you are going to a place wherein alam mo na meron na siyang ganyang klaseng pandemic, cargo mo yung gagastusin mo sa kasi pumunta ako sa lugar na yun knowing the situation. Pero pag kunwari pumunta ka lang sa place na kung walang pandemic ngayon and then nagkaroon ka ng sakit or accident at na-hospital ka, yun ka-cover ng insurance. Diyan yung insurance ko Pero ngayon kasi hindi siya cover kasi nga alam mo nang may pandemic, bakit ka lalabas? Parang ganun yung nakalagay sa buy statement ng insurance ko. So
you really have to check with your insurance provider what they will cover in this pandemic, if they're going to pay for the treatment or not. So before you travel, you have to make sure that you're actually going to be covered. So that's a good point to remember.
That's a good point, because even with travel insurance, for example, if they do not allow you to go to Asia because of the high cases of COVID-19. So if you still insist and you go to any countries in Asia, they might not even reimburse you for any of of the flights or problems that you encounter. Kasi naka-stipulate yon sa insurance mo, because pandemic nga ito, it's an extraordinary circumstance. So it might not be covered by the insurance.
Actually, nakita ko yung news items in the last few days na ang mga ospital, halimbawa sa Metro Manila, like Makati Medical Center, lahat daw sila mga puno na. They have to treat anybody. So, saan pupunta yung mga gagamutin?
Sa Philippine Center pinabagsak.
That is a good question, Jean. Pero yung tinatanong kasi din ni I think yung mga OFW talaga, walang ibang choice kundi talagang sasagutin ng gobyerno ang pagpapagamot nila. So that's a fact. Kasi yung mga nakausap ko na nag-positive, kinuha po sila ng DOH, ng van ng DOH, and for them to be treated. Yung may mga private insurance, nabanggit na natin kanina, and then Jay explained it. Pero mayroong isang punto na sinasabi dito si Alvin Umahon about yung OWA member. Pag hindi ka daw OWA member, ay hindi ka bibigyan, hindi daw swab, hindi free yung swab test. I think, Alvin, lahat ng OFW, whether member of OWA or not, talaga po sila, free sila. Lalo na yung maglalanding sa Manila. Wala talaga silang babayaran. So, yan ang impormasyon natin, at yan din ang mga sinabi ng mga ibang nakausap ko at yung kasabay ko na umuwi ng Pilipinas. OWA member or not, libre po, basta OFW ka. And yun ngang sa NAIA, kahit hindi ka OFW, kahit returning Filipino kabalikbayan, libre din po. Kasi katulad namin ni Jay, libre yung swab test namin. Ang example na binigay natin kanina, yung karanasan ni Migs Lumibaw, dahil nasa Clark sila at saka yung mga nasa Cebu, naglanding ng Cebu. And our DOT official confirmed it na may bayad nga po yung mga foreigners at saka yung OF dyan sa Clark at sa Cebu. Okay?
Jay, nabanggit mo yung Philippine Center. Yung ba yung pangalan ng ospital? Na
yung
pinagtatagan?
Philippine Arena, sorry, why am I saying
Philippine Arena?
Philippine Arena, yung sa Iglesia ni Cristo na malaking arena. I think they turned it into
quarantine. Outside Metro Manila, no? Outside Manila yan.
Oo.
Okay.
Sa Bulacan.
Mm-mm.
It's like they turned the Excel in London. They turned Excel to a Nightingale Hospital. So it's a temporary hospital, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Another one from Alvin Umahon. Alvin, talagang quota ka na sa mga comment mo.
We're running out of time.
Totoo ba na pag OWA member, maganda ang hotel at yung D member, they have to choose kung sagot, hotel kasi mas mura yung bayaran. Yung may babayaran talaga, yung mga, as we said, yung hindi po kayo OFW, magbabayad kayo ng hotel ninyo. And then, dahil kayo ang magbabayad ng hotel ninyo, kayo ang makakapili kung ito lang ba ang budget ninyo. Pwede rin kayong naka 5-star hotel kung meron sa listahan ng DOT na merong 4-star or 5-star. Kung meron man, meron ka ba? Kasi tinan mo ang hotel ni Jay, nakikita natin, napakaganda.
Yeah, it's very posh.
Because he's paying for that. Yung sa mga OFW po, ang mag-a-assign naman po, mayroon silang allocation ng quarantine facility. So i-check po natin. Kailangan nating i-verify yan, Alvin, kung hindi yung may distinction pag OWA member or non-OWA member. Okay?
Pero
so I guess
OFW, yung nakasama kong OFW kasi binigyan siya ng choice kung doon ba siya magsistay sa ipoprovide ng government or siya yung magbubook ng hotel niya. Meron siyang choice.
Okay. So ibig sabihin pala, kasi nga naman, kung ayaw mo dun sa facility na provide ng government sa iyo, karapatan mong pumili basta ikaw na ang magbabayad niyan.
Pero
hindi mo na
dalawang klase kasi yung list ng quarantine facilities. Meron yung compulsory facilities wherein yan yung pang OFW at saka pwede doon yung tinatawag naman na gaya ng hotel ko ngayon, which is the stringent quarantine facility. So kung kunwari OFW ka, yung kailangan mo talagang i-book na quarantine facility is yung compulsory quarantine facility. Kung hindi ka pwede mag-book sa stringent quarantine facility. Pero kung stringent ka lang, dun pwede ka sa stringent at pwede ka dun sa compulsory. Dalawa kasi yung list.
Jay, para sa mga kababayan natin, magkano ba range ng bayad sa hotel? And Rose also, of course.
Kasi depende yun. Like, mayroon kasing list na kunwari, pwede ka sa mga sa mga motel. Sa motel kasi it's cheaper. It's more than 1,000 pesos lang. But if you want to go higher, like mine is 5-star hotel, it's about 7,000 to 8,000 pesos a night.
Yes.
Okay.
So meron pong range na from 1,500 to 8,000 a night. Yun ang choices ninyo. At saka, pwede rin po kung pupunta kayo sa website ng DOT, makikita nyo yung mga accredited hotels na malapit po sa airport. You can book online. Kung hindi nyo naman magagawa yun because you're having difficulty, kasi ang hirap mag-book online. Lahat ng mga rooms parang allocated na siya. Sa airport, you will be assisted by DOT also. Kung kayo ay hindi OFW, kung kayo ay foreigner.
Kung sa Philippines, it's better to give the hotel a call para na may booking ka na doon tapos magpa-pick up ka na lang sa airport. Yun yung ginawa ko, which is a lot more convenient. Kung gusto niyo yung convenience.
Just reading out the question from Lailani Marie Indopia. She shared our show for today on Facebook, but we've actually answered this question earlier. Ano po updated requirements needed when going back to Philippines aside from being a dual citizen? Thank you po. So we've talked about, as long as you are Filipino national, if you have a Filipino passport, you can enter the country. Check that you have actually booked your accommodation as long as it's approved by the Philippine government. You book it in advance, and then also the travel insurance, check if they're able to pay for your treatment if need be. The best thing really is to contact or check with the Philippine embassy in London, because they do have a list of requirements what you need to meet before flying out to the Philippines, because that's a very good and helpful tips nga sa mga gustong umuwi po sa Philippines.
Sa immigration, hindi naman hinahanap yung yung travel insurance. It's not compulsory, guys. Choice niyo yun magkaroon
Just
ng
in case though, right?
yung travel insurance lang na hinahanap ngayon is going out. Filipinos going out of the country. One of the requirements is you need to have a travel insurance sa pupuntahan mong country.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So, I just want to greet my kababayan, teacher sa high school ko noon, Ella Marcos na nanonood. Thank you for watching po. At ang ating kaibigang Marcel Ingles, may mga tanong pala siya para kay Susan Cueva pero hindi natin natanong because I wasn't able to look at these questions here dito sa watch party na inorganize ko. So, Jean, baka pwede mong masagot ito. Jean, sa tingin mo ba, lalong nag-fortress ang Europe dahil sa pandemic o nagbukas para sa migrants dahil sa health concerns?
Ay, very very straight ang sagot yan. The fortress actually strengthened. In fact, at the beginning of the pandemic, you will remember na, Marcel, you will remember that there was even potential, there was a fear that this would actually break up the European Union dahil parang nagkakanya-kanya ang mga bansa like Germany, France, of course the UK, na bawal pumasok ang bawat isa sa yung ibang nationals. Kahit nga Sweden and Denmark, may mga bawal tumawid. Magkakatabi lang yan. So yeah, the answer is no, it didn't make things easier. It actually made things more difficult.
Okay. So, Marcel, nasagot ni Jean yung tanong mo. I was just able to read it now, yung tanong mo. But thank you, Jean, for answering that. At if we have a little more time, maybe one more question before we say goodbye.
Actually,
Can I just
meron
ask,
pa ba?
Franz
question
Pinedo.
about returning to the
So,
UK?
Franz Pinedo, stay safe and to your team, God bless po. Hindi muna po ako magbakasyon, cancel po ang traveling ko Philippines. Nakakatakot po, stay in London for now. So comment siya, but of course, ingat, Franz.
Alam mo, Franz, maganda yung payo mo kasi kung limitado yung oras o yung araw o panahon ng bakasyon mo, this is not a good time to travel kasi mauubos po talaga yung oras ninyo sa quarantine. And then Metro Manila pa lang, kahit na nagkaroon kayo ng COVID-free test, pag uwi nyo ng probinsya, iba naman po yung patakaran doon and you have to follow the LGU rules. So, yun po, case to case sa bawat probinsya. Jay, you were about to say something before Jean said something?
Yeah, kasi yung problem ngayon is because I'm a Filipino passport holder and I'm a resident in the UK. Yung problem ko ngayon is going back to the UK kung ano na naman yung requirement sa immigration kasi syempre Philippine passport pa rin ako. If it's foreign kasi it's easy kasi you're a foreign traveler, kailangan mo lang ipakita yung foreign passport mo. But Philippine passport with a resident visa in another country. Yun yung ano ngayon kung ano yung baka maalam mo po, Miss Rose.
Nabasa ko, Jay, but we have to keep on updating ourselves. Ang nabasa ko diyan kasi pabago-bago every week may mga adjustment at saka mga bagong announcement. Pag meron kang foreign passport or Philippine passport holder ka at meron kang permanent residency sa ibang bansa, you may leave. Pwede kang pag-fly. So ang magiging next without what?
Without any requirement needed.
Walang requirement kasi may mapapakita mo naman na naka-attach na sa passport mo yung residency mo, 'di ba? Nandun yung yung proof noon. So you will not be confined in the Philippines. Hindi pwede kayong paalisin. I think ang medyo gray area yung mga nabigyan ng visa na contract workers sa ibang bansa. Yun. Kasi if you will remember, may mga kaso sa UK na mga nurses na may visa na sila ready for deployment, then there was a lockdown, di sila nakaalis, they had to wait.
I think they stopped all frontliners. They're not allowed to leave the country. Yung
yung nahirap.
All health.
Tapos nagbigay naman nagbigay na rin ng pahayag si DFA Secretary Teddy Boy Locsin, kaya napayagan umalis yung mga napalipad na earlier 2 weeks ago at saka yung mga iba pa nating kababayan na hold sa Pilipinas because nga mayroon na silang kontrata ready to go na yung kabuhayan naman nila yung maapektuhan. So it's case to case for those contract workers, pero kung meron kang residence permit tsaka foreign passport, maaari kang umalis ng Pilipinas. Ayan ang aking pagkakaunawa.
Last question na lang, Miss Rose. Paano yung mga tourists ngayon sa Philippines? Na-allow na ba sila lumabas ng Pilipinas or hindi pa po?
What do you mean? Yung mga Pilipino na mangingibang bansa para maging turista?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Hindi pa po pinapayagan. Kasi nga, yung pinapaalis pa lang at yung pwedeng umalis ng bansa, yung foreign passport holders, at saka yung mga may visa, may residence visa sa ibang bansa, at yung mga contract workers, not for yung mga mamamasyal at turista. Yan ang pagkakaunawa ko. Unless may bago akong, may na-miss ako sa...
Meron kasing update dun sa, sa government, nung July 9 ata yun, that they will allow tourists as long as they have a returning ticket and also a health insurance papunta sa bansa. But then, my friend kasi ako, pumunta siya ng airport, hindi siya pinalabas dahil daw it takes 2 weeks for the law to be implemented. I don't know if you guys have heard about it.
We have to clarify.
In the case of the UK, meron silang tinatawag na air bridges, no? Ibig sabihin nito, 65 countries have been identified as pwedeng pumunta sa UK na walang quarantine. So obviously, ang Pilipinas ay hindi kasama dito sa air bridges. So magkakaproblema sila pag gustong pumunta dito.
Maka-quarantine sila for 14 days.
Definitely. Papayagan silang umalis ng Pilipinas in the first place. But pagdating dito, definitely quarantine sila.
Okay.
Siguro, Jay, mas ang advice natin is mas mag-research sila doon sa bansang pupuntahan nila kasi bawat bansa sa Europa, ang pagkakaalam ko, naglabas na sila ng listahan ng mga bansa na papasok lang sa particular country na ito, like the UK, Jean mentioned, naglagabay na sila ng mga listahan na kung papasok ka sa UK, kung may quarantine ka. Kasi paano kung tourist ka tapos magka-quarantine ka ng 14 days? You're wasting a lot of your time. Diba? Nasa loob ka lang ng...
Meron nata silang ginawa doon sa gov.uk na pwede mo dong i-enter kung saan ka magka-quarantine 48 hours before you travel. Dun sa mga countries na ika-quarantine. So you need to provide kung saan ka ika-quarantine for that 14 days. And then the duration of your travel kung saan ka magsistay.
Yeah.
Pero the problem is going out the Philippines kasi yung sa immigration, before kanila papakawalan, they have their own requirements, which is yan yung hindi natin alam.
Yes, that we have to clarify, that we have to find out kung ano na yung mga patakaran naman dun sa mga lalabas ng Pilipinas. Yung na-share ko, that's my understanding. But again, as I said, we have to keep on checking kasi may mga adjustment, may mga pagbabago po. Lalo na ngayon na yung ibang bansa nagluluwag. Yung iba naman, bumalik sa lockdown katulad ng ibang places in Spain. Di ba?
Yes.
May mga binalik sila sa lockdown dahil tumaas yung kaso. So, kailangan talaga magbasa tayo palagi, kailangan we research kung pupunta kayo sa isang lugar, etc., etc. So, yun po. Again, hindi na naman tayo nakapag stick sa ating oras because of our
it's an epic episode again.
But Jay, thank you for joining us. Maraming salamat sa pag-share mo sa amin ng mga information. So, umuwi ka ng Pilipinas para pala mag-stay lang sa hotel.
No, I came here for business kasi. If this is not for business talaga, I wouldn't even dare.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Kailangan magtrabaho sa panahon ng pandemic. So we just have to do what we have to do. And then, mag-iingat ka. Hopefully we see you. If not in the Philippines, we see you in the UK.
I'll see you in the Philippines. See you later, guys.
Enjoy.
Thank you for having me.
Salamat, Jay. And then, ito po ang higit isang oras na One You Connect. Ang ating talakayan tungkol sa regularisasyon ng undocumented migrants sa UK at sa France. It was a worthwhile discussion. Marami akong natutunan. There was one point nga, Jean, na na-mention ni Bong sa akin, na-mention ni Bong kanina, meron pa palang benefit pension kahit undocumented ka sa France. He mentioned it. That's new to me.
Ito
Diba?
ito nakakapagtaka sa France compared to sa UK. UK, puro bawal. Criminal ka pag undocumented. Pero, tawid ka lang ng dagat. In France, okay, socialist yung government, but talagang inaalagaan ng mga tao. They treat you like human beings. Yan.
Yes. Yeah, we
Kaya
see that.
Yung sinasabi natin kanina na kung may mag-attempt na sumubok ng buhay dito sa Europa, isipin nila kung saan sila pupunta.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yes.
That's true.
Oo,
Yeah.
yung kung kaya ninyong ma-survive kung saang bansa ito. Katulad rin ng nabanggit natin ang ating paboritong commentator. Sabi nga ni Alvin, hindi sapat ang tatlong araw na PDOS para malaman mo kung ano yung mga kailangan mong tandaan on how to survive or, to live in another country. So it's a continuous process. Habang nandyan ka sa bansa na yan, marami kayong matututunan. At kailangan parati po tayong informed at get to know your community para makatulong sila sa atin. Katulad ng nabanggit sa atin kanina ni Miss Susan Cueva, maraming na itutulong ang kanlungan.
Correct.
Okay.
I hope
Okay.
I'm not going to add any more, but just quickly, I hope that the government will change its mind in relation to undocumented migrants, because it's not easy in this pandemic, especially, to live in this country.
That's
it.
true. That's it. Totoo. So, natapos na naman po ang higit na isang oras na One You Connect. Ito po ang ating serbisyo publiko para po sa ating mga kababayan sa UK at sa Europa. Maraming salamat po for joining us for more than an hour for our discussion today.
Okay, maraming salamat po. Alam ko may mga tanong pang pumasok na last minute, pero sa ngayon po, kailangan talaga magpaalam na kami, overtime na. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo po, magsama-sama ulit tayo. Ito po si Jean Alcantara from London.
And I'm Crystal Dias. Stay safe, stay well, everyone. Until next time. Thank you.
Salamat po. See you next week.
Okay.